Over on the Baltimore sideline, John Harbaugh. He's led the Ravens to the postseason in each of his first 3 seasons as head coach. Mike Munchak, 9 Pro Bowls during a Hall of Fame career at guard with the Houston Oilers. 17 years as an assistant, now in his 2nd game as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee won the toss. They've deferred to the second half, so the Ravens will have the ball to start the game. Baronis, strong leg, set to kick it off. And as you saw last week, with the rule change this year, the kickoff will come from the 35-yard line. David Reed, back from a 1-game suspension, is back deep for Baltimore. He led the league in return average a year ago. And he's standing a good 6 yards deep in the end zone.
One of the things about the new kickoff, it's all about, the feel, and every team has a different philosophy, but at this point of the season, we've seen more kicks returned from deep in the end zone than ever before.
But that sails out of the end zone, so they'll bring it out to the 20. And that's where the Ravens will start 1st and 10. Joe Flacco in his 4th season now at quarterback for the Ravens. He was outstanding last week against Pittsburgh, throwing for 224 yards and 3 touchdowns. Home opener for the Titans as they start play in their 13th season here at LP Field. And the Ravens will try to take this crowd out of it early. High formation to start. Dixon was the motion man. They give it to Rice, right side. And he picks up 5 yards to the 25-yard line. Sean Smith made the stop. Ravens offensive line dominated in the trenches against Pittsburgh today. Ben Grubbs is out at left guard with a toe injury, so the Ravens start Mark LaVore in his 5th year out of Notre Dame. Ravens all kinds of weapons on offense. Ray Rice coming off a 100-yard day against Pittsburgh, and they like their young tight ends, Dixon and Pitta. They are a big part of what Cam Cameron is trying to do offensively. 2nd and 5. Rice again the right side, trying to get to the edge, and he'll lose a yard. Titans on defense. They're going to be challenged today, trying to contain this Raven offense up front. They're happy to have Jason Jones back this week at defensive end. The linebackers, Root came over from Tampa Bay. He's the quarterback of the defense. They really like the rookie Akeem Ayers on the outside. In the secondary, the Titans are without Chris Hope today, so the veteran Jordan Babineau starts in his place at strong safety. 3rd and 6 for the Ravens. Their opening possession just underway here in Nashville. Flacco from the shotgun. With time, now flush from the pocket. Incomplete. That was intended for Anquan Bolden. Portland Finnegan batted it away, and it's 3 and out for the Ravens.
One of the things about this Ravens we've spoken about in the open, Bill, is that they do have a lot of offensive weapons, but I think as this game wears on, you're going to see their biggest weapon take over, and that's their offensive line. Those guys are a real weapon, and they make everything else go. And you saw Joe Flacco. He had plenty of time, even though he bought himself more time by rolling out. I still think that's going to be the issue. How long can Joe Flacco wait to throw the football?
Sam Cook with the punt. Mariani retreats, and it goes out of bounds. So the Titans will go to work on offense. Matt Hasselbeck ready to roll. He brings a veteran presence to this Tennessee offense. 21 of 34 for 263 yards and 2 touchdowns last week in the loss to Jacksonville. That was a 43-yard punt. So they'll spot it at the 35-yard line. That's where Tennessee will go 1st and 10.
It was an excellent start for the Tennessee defense here at home, starting with that emotion and getting the Ravens off 1, 2, 3 and out. As you see there, Chris Palmer, the offensive coordinator, working for the first time with Matt Hasselbeck.
Johnson met at the line of scrimmage, pushed back. Tennessee offensive line, they have been the most consistent group for the Titans. Roos and Big Country at the tackles can move people. The backs and receivers, they'll try to get Chris Johnson on track after the slow start last week. Kenny Britt had a big day against the Jaguars. He scored both of the Tennessee touchdowns. 2nd and 10. Johnson, left side. And again, no running room. Not many more superlatives you can come up with for the Ravens on defense. They are just loaded everywhere up front. Nata may be the best defensive lineman in the league now. At linebacker, Ray just keeps bringing it. After 16 years, Suggs was all over Ben Roethlisberger last week with 3 sacks. And in the secondary, Ed Reed had another 2 interceptions last week. And they really like Kerry Williams, the right corner.
Yeah, you see this defensive line for the Ravens so big inside with Cody and Nata. Just hard to get any push up front.
Hasselbeck will throw on 3rd and 9. Checks it down, and that's going to be caught at the 40, but short of a first down by Chris Johnson. So 3 and out for Tennessee.
Yeah, and the linebackers and they sent 4 men on the rush. Everybody else dropped back almost to the first down marker, 10 yards away. And they let Chris Johnson just come out, catch the short pass, even though it was a catch and a fall down. There was no place for Chris Johnson to run. The Baltimore Ravens baiting Hasselbeck into throwing the short pass, knowing they could come up and tackle him short of the first down.
Brett Kern on the punt for Tennessee, standing at his own 26-yard line. This is a great punt. Ladarius Webb finally fields it at the 5. Marker is down. Webb gets it out to the 13-yard line. That was a 55-yard punt and a 9-yard return, but let's check the penalty.
And it's going to be even further setback for Baltimore, the hold call on the Ravens return team.
Clete Blakeman is our referee today.
And it's going to be, when you get two defense, and particularly a defense as good as Baltimore's is, it's all about field position. Because
during the return, holding, return team, number 29. Penalty is half the distance to the goal line. First down, Baltimore.
So second possession upcoming for the Baltimore Ravens. No score in the first. Baltimore Ravens have a long field for their second possession. Inside the 5. First and 10, just underway. Rice out to the 6-yard line.
Really right there, just trying to get some running room. Ray Rice, you know, and the thing about Ray Rice is he's only about 5'7". And you get him in behind an offensive line that is as big as Baltimore's, it really is a problem for linebackers and D linemen to separate him out and get through the traffic to find him and get their arms around him. Did a nice job there, but it is a problem for teams who play the Ravens.
Empty backfield, they spread him out on 2nd and 9. Flacco from his own end zone. Incomplete, in and out of the hands of Ed Dickson, who got popped by Cortland Finnegan.
That was a great hit by Finnegan on Dixon, who is no little guy. Finnegan, not known as a big physical corner. He's a chippy guy, but man, what a shot he put on Ed Dickson, timed perfectly. And I got to tell you, Finnegan just sat there and waited as though he knew that route was coming. And Dixon ran right into him.
What did we hear from the Ravens about Finnegan? They said he plays big. He came up big on that play. 3rd and 9 for Baltimore. Flacco again, flush from the pocket, gets rid of it, incomplete. Lee Evans still looking for his first reception as a Raven, was the intended receiver. So 2 straight 3 and outs for Baltimore.
Well, this is all about the secondary. Joe Flacco's got enough time to get rid of this football, but because of the pressure, the Ravens can't get any extra guys out. Ray Rice can't check down for an outlet. He has to go down the football field, and they are covered.
Tennessee should have pretty good field position. Cook standing at the back of the end zone. Mariani from the 45-yard line. And he returns it into Ravens territory. 48-yard punt and a 5-yard return.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Walmart. Save money, live better. Walmart. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Neither team has registered a first down yet. Titans will start from the Ravens' 47-yard line.
And the Titans at this point, early point of the game, have really done a good job of getting field position and dictating it.
Johnson, some running room on that right side, and he's inside the 45, down to the 43. Pick up of 4 yards.
You know, you talk about the situation with Matt Hasselbeck coming to Tennessee with all the problems they had with the rotating thing, that quarterback by committee they went through a year ago. He was a guy that the Tennessee Titans targeted, and Mike Munchak called him. And because of that phone call, I mean, Hasselbeck told us, he goes, I would have shown up right then. I mean, that's the kind of guy Mike Munchak is. And I agree with him. I've known Mike Munchak for over 25 years, and he is that kind of guy.
Hasselbeck will throw on second down. Batted away and intercepted! Terrell Suggs. Wow.
Well, it was a bad luck throw by Hasselbeck. It got batted and ricocheted after the tip, and then went right to Terrell Suggs. And Hasselbeck was going to throw the football right on time. Watch, 3-step, 4-step, 5-step drop, ball comes right out, and it's just tipped right there in front of him. Nada, and then it ricochets right off of Ellerbe, and it goes right to Suggs. That's a bad break for Hasselbeck and the Titans, but that's what good defenses do. You make your own luck, and that's what happened in Pittsburgh a week ago. It started to steamroll.
The AFC Defensive Player of the Week in the right place at the right time. So the first turnover goes to the Ravens. Rolling out, Leach, the fullback, and he's into Tennessee territory. Vontae Leach. Hakeem Ayers, the rookie out of UCLA, made the stop after a pickup of 5.
And right away, the Ravens come back and throw the football, and they get Flacco right out of the pocket. They had to change up their protection because Flacco's got time in the pocket, but nobody's getting open, so they're starting to get the defense to try and move back and forth to find some seams, and it worked there.
Golden was in motion. They keep it on the ground, up the middle. Rice. Derek Morgan, the defensive end, made the stop. Big changes for the Ravens coming into this season. 20 new players, 8 new starters. A lot of the familiar names are gone. Derek Mason, Todd Heap, Willis McGahee, Kelly Gregg have all moved on.
Yeah, and even so, they look across the line, and there's Barrett Ruud from Tampa Bay last year. The linebacking core for the Titans, very young, except for Ruud and Witherspoon. A lot of young athletes over there.
Third down for Baltimore, trying to take advantage of the turnover. Flacco. Intercepted! Alteron Werner returns the favor for the Titans.
Werner jumped this route. He just does not believe Lee Evans is going to go past him. He does not backpedal at all. Lee Evans coming in with an injured ankle. I don't think Evans is 100%, and Werner didn't either. He didn't back up at all, had safety help over the top, and just would not be turned around to retreat from Lee Evans, and stepped right in front of that ball.
So the Titans go back to work on offense from their own 39-yard line. Johnson picking his way across the 40 to the 41. A gain of 3.
Well, that's amazing that the Titans came right back with a defensive answer to Baltimore, and then they come out, both teams come out, and it's a little surprising. Usually when you see a team turn the football over, the offense that comes on the field after that turnover goes deep. They try and hit them right in the mouth right away. Neither of these teams willing to do that against these defenses. Handing the football off on a run play.
2nd and 7. Hasselbeck looking for the slant. He's got it! Nate Washington into Ravens territory. Ed Reed made the stop.
I'll tell you, A young quarterback doesn't make this play. Watch Hasselbeck drop back. He sees it right there, doesn't, then waits for the second window on the other side of Ian Badejo. He waits for Badejo to go out to the slant and waits till he runs underneath it and then throws it behind him. A veteran throw by Hasselbeck.
That was good for 17 yards and a first down. Chris Johnson, close to the 40.
You know, one of the things that's amazing.
We'll get back to that thought in a second, but manage all of your CBS Sports Fantasy Football teams on your mobile device. Download the free app today at cbssports.com/mobile.
Yeah, I was just going to say that looking at the running game for the Titans as we watch this play.
2nd and 9. Left side for Johnson. Again, no running room. Terrell Suggs, that's the first man there.
It's going to be tough sledding for Chris Johnson. I mean, when you make a name for yourself doing what he's done in the league in his first 4 seasons, I mean, people follow you around on the football field. I mean, the attention is always on you. And I liked the way they did that last run where they had a stretch play where Hasselbeck had to run wide to get him the football. I don't think he's as effective running up inside, although even for his size, he's effective doing that. You got to use his speed sideline to sideline.
3rd and 7. Titans trying to keep this drive going. Hasselbeck gets rid of it. Flag down. That's the tight end Cook. He got enough for a first down, but we'll check the penalty.
Holding. Offense, number 54. 10-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Call it on the center, Eugene Amano, in his 8th year out of Southeast Missouri State.
Hasselbeck's going to end up right on the ground. Watch as he comes back. This ball comes out, and Suggs is going to get loose. He let up on him. Still put his chin strap up in his mouth. It's not the funnest thing in the world, but that's a light hit for the quarterback. That's perfectly legal.
Ravens all-time leading sacker, 3 sacks and 2 forced fumbles last week in that huge game against the Steelers. So 3rd and long, 3rd and 17. Ringer trying to get him out in space, driven out of bounds short of a first down. They'll spot it at about the 37-yard line. Kerry Williams made the tackle after a pickup of 11.
Yeah, with this play, it's going to bring up an interesting decision. You're going to look at about a 55-yarder, and I think they're going to send. Yeah, they're not going to try the field goal. I think it's too big of a risk. I mean, they were hitting it. Both kickers were hitting 60-yarders going this direction of the field in pregame, but it's a little different story when you know if you miss it, the offense for the Ravens would take over at about their own 45-yard line.
Rob Baronis tried a 67-yarder last week against Jacksonville. And they're going to punt it. Kern trying to get it inside the 20 and will. And it'll be down inside the 5 at the 4-yard line. 33-yard punt, but well placed. And another long field for the Baltimore Ravens. 4:40 left to go in the first. Still no score. We're back and keep up with the NFL when you're on the go. The NFL's mobile apps are all new for the 2011 season. Go to NFL.com/mobile to learn more. Ravens start inside the 5-yard line. So far, 9 plays, 11 yards. It's been almost a perfect start for the Tennessee Titans. Evans, his first catch as a Baltimore Raven, and a first down. Evans, who wore a protective boot on his left foot in practice this week. We had a chance to speak with him. He said he felt fine.
Yeah, he's still, and when you saw him in warm-up, I thought he was actually limping a little bit, but he's a guy that when he does get healthy and when he puts that ankle injury behind him, he can get deep, and that's really an asset to the Baltimore Raven offense, something they've been looking for a while.
The catch was good for 13 yards. Rice, left side. Brought down by Jarrell Casey, the rookie out of USC, 3rd-round draft pick.
Yeah, the defensive line of the Titans really played this extremely well. You'll watch as they just slide down. Watch, they're going to slide down, and they're just not going to give Ray Rice any room to cut it up this direction. They just cut off all the lines and all the seams for him to get back.
Tried to cut it back, and Casey was waiting. They think he has a bright future. Young man out of USC, 2nd and 7 for the Ravens. Flacco gets rid of it just in time, brought down hard and incomplete. Anquan Bolden was the intended receiver, and now we have a late marker.
Yeah, this is going to be on Michael Griffin. He came in to clean up on the hit and led with his head on a defenseless receiver. It was well defended. Werner once again on the coverage was underneath the throw and looked like he got a little piece of it.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Defense number 33. Blow to the head. It's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Griffin.
And you'll see here Werner just lets Bolden go over and gets a piece of it, and then that's the finish right there. You can't go head first into a defenseless receiver. And boy, things have changed in the NFL. That's all I can say.
So hard to gauge where a guy is going to be once you start your move toward him as a tackler. So fresh set of downs. They give it to Rice on the right side. Great penetration by the Titans. Stop for a 2-yard loss. Lots of action around the National Football League here in Week 2. Let's check in with JB in New York.
All right, Bill and Steve, take a look at our guy Sanchez.
And that play action pass, you can't cover a perfect throw. That was a perfect throw to Santonio Holmes, 17-yard touchdown. Jets up by 9, JB.
Boomer Esiason said let him loose, and he's doing the job. Back to Bill McAtee and Steve Tasker.
I'll never get used to those Jets throwback uniforms.
Flacco. There was some contact right when the ball came by. Dennis Pitta, the tight end, was the intended receiver, but no flag. That's what Pitta was looking for.
Yeah, they've been really happy with their 2 tight ends. Pitta and Dixon have really been a factor, and I think Flacco is getting more used to looking for them. You know, they lost Todd Heap last year, and that, to me, is interference. That's an early hit, and I don't know why you call the late hit on Griffin, and that goes, the early hit doesn't get called. That looked to me like pass interference.
3rd and 12. They rush 4. Flacco finally gets rid of it, incomplete, and Ray Rice couldn't bring it in.
The Tennessee defense has shown up in a big way today. They're playing emotion. With emotion, they're getting pressure on Flacco. They're flustering him, and the thing about it is they are really doing a great job in the back end of their defense covering up these receivers. Flacco doesn't have any clear shots to throw the football down the field.
Mariani standing back waiting for the punt at his own 22-yard line. Sam Cook, the Ravens' all-time leading punter with a career average of just under 44 yards. Mariani retreats back to the 13. Trying to get to the outside, nothing doing. A 54-yard punt, 31 left to go in the first, still no score.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Sprint. All together now. And by the 2011 GMC Sierra. This truck month, there is no better time to trade up to the best Sierra.
We're back in Nashville. Titans ready to go from their own 19-yard line. 1st and 10, no score. 2:31 left to go in the first. Hasselback, short drop up the sideline. Oh my goodness, Kenny Britt was wide open.
He gave a great move on the hesitation coming down the near side, and Hasselbeck threw it up. Kerry Williams in the coverage. Britt comes out, and it looked like he just stuttered and slowed down like he was going to stop. Hasselbeck just laid it out for him. He got wide open, as you said. Look at the separation. And that's one of those, when the ball's in the air, you're thinking, oh my goodness, I hope he can just catch it. And the only thing you can get wrong is if the wind catches it or you throw it out of bounds.
Into Ravens territory after the 37-yard gain. Hasselbeck once more. Again, it's Brent wide open. Right in the seam. And a flag is down on the play.
Yeah, and Ed Reed got up on his face mask accidentally. You saw the two guys greet each other after he got up. Ed Reed saying, hey, I didn't mean to do it, and Kenny Britt accepting the apology. But Ed Reed made a nice tackle coming up from the safety position, but Kenny Britt getting open on the deep crossing route.
That was good for 16.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask. Defense number 20. That penalty is half the distance to the goal line. First down, Tennessee.
Well, Ed Reed may get a penalty like that once in a while, but I'll tell you what, that's a guy every team wants on. I mean, he does a nice job coming up from his safety position, and the deep cross got open right there. You see the nice hard tackle, and he pulled him down. After he fell off of him, he reached up to make sure of the tackle right here, and there you see it.
And he was right in between two future Hall of Famers in Ray Lewis and Mr. Reed. Johnson as they go to the ground, down close to the 10-yard line. And another flag.
And the Ravens are convinced that it's on the Titans. We haven't seen anything except the fact that it came from the umpire.
Personal foul, clipping. Offense, number 64. 15-yard penalty, still first down.
Leroy Harris, the left guard, called for the infraction.
And that's a big penalty.
And they're going to move it all the way back to the 27-yard line.
Well, they'll get it first and 27 anyway, but then in this place, if you really want to try and score the touchdown, you got to get every play positive. As you see there, Bruce Matthews, the offensive line coach, the first hire by Mike Munchak on his new staff.
So first and 23, incomplete. Trying to get it out to Nate Washington.
And those are the kind of plays that, that get lost in the statistics. That's a play you got. It's an easy throw and catch. It's a first and 27. You see here all the new players that Tennessee added. Matt Hasselbeck and Jake Locker. This, I think, is the thing. Perfect scenario for Jake Locker coming in as a young quarterback, and the improved defense right there, too, as Rude and Ayers come in along with Sean Smith.
Jake Locker had an impressive preseason and seems to have all the tools for an outstanding career in the NFL.
And he's sitting behind a guy who's been to the Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks. You see there, Locker, and actually, interestingly enough, Jake Locker and Matt Hasselbeck knew each other. Locker, of course, out of Washington, and Hasselbeck playing for the Seahawks. So they were well acquainted and ended up, 10 months later on the same team here in Tennessee.
Pickup of 6, so 3rd and 17. They have to get it inside the 5 for a first down. Hasselbeck guns it. Caught by Jared Cook.
Yeah, and that's the clipping penalty right there. It just took them completely out of their ability to try and score a touchdown. Now it's field goal, and that's it.
5-yard gain. Zibikowski made the stop. So we will see Baronis and the field goal unit.
And these are the kind of plays that when the game is all said and done, you look back on and think, man, if we'd have just been able to punch that in for a touchdown instead of getting backed out and settling for a field goal.
So that will take us to the end of the first quarter. No score. We'll return to Nashville after these messages. You're watching the National Football League on CBS. We're back. The Ravens struck quickly last week, scoring a touchdown in just 3 plays to open against Pittsburgh. They led 14-0 after the end of the first quarter, but no score here today. Baronis on to try the field goal for Tennessee. 34 yards and and no good. This is a guy who has been remarkably accurate throughout his career. But he misses here. Still, no points in Nashville. Missed opportunity by the Titans. They had 1st and 10 at the Baltimore 14, but a clipping penalty and a missed 34-yard field goal by a guy who missed only 2 all of last year and still no score. Flacco checks it down incomplete. He threw it behind Ray Rice. And let's take a look at what the Tennessee defense has brought today.
Well, they've stepped it up immeasurably from a week ago. They were pretty good last week. They gave up 1 long drive early, but then they held the Jacksonville Jaguars to just 3 field goals the rest of the day. And you see there the big hit by Finnegan, the forced incompletions, and the interception. I mean, this has been a really good first quarter showing by Jerry Gray's defense for the Titans.
New defensive coordinator here in Tennessee. 2nd and 10. Rice, right side, has a hole. Pops through to the 31-yard line. And once again, let's check in with JB in New York.
Hey, Bill, Cam Newton continues to impress.
Oh, yeah, opening drive, JB. He finds Brandon LaFell here for a touchdown. Cam Newton is 10 of 13 so far in the first half, 151 yards and a touchdown. Carolina up by 10.
And I thought he was supposed to struggle early on.
Oh, Steve, this kid looks good.
All right, Steve, you heard that.
How about this
I am
start?
surprised by that.
Cam Newton. Flacco on 3rd down. That's caught by Rice. And he's got a first down for the Ravens. Finnegan made the tackle. That was good for 6.
You see, so much of this game is about the quarterbacks. You see Cam Newton trying to get it done in Carolina. But, you know, there's so many different ways to play that position, even though it's the same one. You see it today with Joe Flacco and Matt Hasselbeck. And you look around the league with guys like Michael Vick. And the rest of those guys that are such good athletes and can do things outside the pocket. It's a fun game to watch with all these different guys.
Ricky Williams has checked in, and he gets it on 1st down. Popped at the line of scrimmage, no gain. Akeem Ayers made the tackle. And once again, let's go back to JB in our studio.
Steelers looking to bounce back from that spanking by the Ravens last week.
And sometimes you have to trick them on defense there, JB. Here's a reverse pass by Emmanuel Stewart. He takes a hit, complete to Hines Ward. That sets up a 1-yard touchdown run by Rashad Mendenhall, putting Pittsburgh up 7-0.
Bill and Steve.
Still early, but interesting how these two teams, the Steelers and the Ravens, have responded after that one-sided Week 1 affair. Ricky Williams stays in the game. They give it to him on the delay, and great penetration. And the ball is on the ground. Titans say they have it. And they do.
Wow. You just mentioned it, Bill, about that game in Week 1 when Baltimore came in and jumped all over the Pittsburgh Steelers. You figured the Steelers would be fired up coming out to make amends for that. You wondered if Baltimore might not have a hangover from too much good stuff last week. And they certainly have gotten off to a much slower start. As you see here, Ricky Williams gets stripped, and that ball's out.
Jordan Babineau, who started today for Chris Hope, came away with it. 2nd turnover for the Ravens.
Klug gets the ball out of there, and you see there, he almost got it picked up and returned. Babineau almost took it the distance.
Rookie out of Iowa, Klug, who stepped in and played well in his first NFL game last week with 4 tackles. So the Titans with another golden opportunity. Lavelle Hawkins gets it out to the 26-yard line. Pickup of 7.
And that's a nice little pickup by Hawkins on a little out route. He didn't want to just take it and step out of bounds and take the gain. He stepped back in and got an extra 3 yards out of that after just turning up the field and carried 2 guys. That's a nice little aggressive play by a wide receiver.
2nd and 3. Chris Johnson, left side. Bottled up again. Gets it inside the 25, down to the 24-yard line.
It looks like he got enough for the first down as well. It'll be their first rushing first down of the day.
And they've got it. Johnson able to pick through traffic.
You see Ricky Williams looking on as he's got to kind of think about the fact that he let that ball get away from him. Not the way you want to start a season with a new team fumbling the football.
Hasselbeck to the end zone. Washington, he overthrows him. Nate Washington had a step or two on Ladarius Webb.
Well, watch as he comes out. You'll see him. He's going to stomp his feet like he's going to stop. Right there, and that's all it takes, right there. And because of the stomp, though, the quarterback has a hard time timing up the far end of the route. When it gets out there where the ball's supposed to be there, it's hard for the quarterback to gauge that speed and throw it out there. Matt Hasselbeck, a West Coast guy. You don't see too much of that in the West Coast offense.
2nd and 10. Johnson, right side. Down inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. That was good for 4 yards. Jameel McClain, the Will linebacker, made the stop, and these guys have been impressive.
Yeah, I mean, look at him. He gets more yards rushing, but less yards passing. And, of course, Ray Rice, I mean, those guys, they're elite players. They really are. And you stand next to him in the meetings. We spoke to him. You know, Chris Johnson's not a big guy. He's kind of a tall, lean guy. Ray Rice will fill up a doorway from the doorknob down. I mean, he's not very tall, but he's pretty thick.
Caught. Kenny Britt down to the 10-yard line. Gary Williams made the tackle after a pickup of 9.
Good physical release. Williams doing a nice job on the bump and run, but Kenny Britt is a physical guy, and we spoke to him on Friday. Really a happy guy. I mean, a likable guy, Kenny Britt. Despite the problems he had in the offseason, I think his teammates like him, the coaching staff like. He's not a bad person at all. I mean, he's a guy that wants to do the right thing and really is going to be a huge asset for this club.
3 catches for 62 yards. They give it to Javon Ringer, who's checked in. Bounces off a wall at the line of scrimmage. McClain pushed him back.
And you talk about the things that happened in the offseason. Everybody talks about the lockout. Kenny Britt, a few scrapes with the police. But I think people get the wrong idea when they hear that. I mean, we sat down and spoke with him for quite some time on Friday, and he couldn't have been more open and honest with us. He's ready to put all that behind him, and it soon will be. And I think he can look for great things. I think he's going to be a player I think Tennessee fans can be proud of.
2nd and goal. Hasselbeck, back of the end zone, incomplete. Washington was the intended receiver.
Well, they had kind of a bracket coverage on Washington. You see there, he's working against Webb, and he's going to come inside, and of course, Ed Reed picks him up. Safety help over the top. This way, Ladarius Webb will stand to the outside of him and let him move to the inside, knowing that Ed Reed's waiting for them inside, just inside-outside coverage, and you don't need anybody deep because the back of the end zone is back there.
So it's 3rd and goal from the 13-yard line. They rush 3. Hasselbeck checks it down to Johnson, trying to get on one-on-one matchup. And he'll be stopped at the 7. Pickup of 5. And we'll see the field goal unit.
And this is why defenses are so effective. If you can force the offense no matter what happens, turnovers, fumbles, big plays, if you can keep them out of the end zone and make them settle for attempts at 3 points, you're going to hang around till the end. And as bad as and slowly as it started, particularly for Baltimore, comparison to last week, as slow as this game has started, they're right in the mix.
Here's some 25 yards out. Notice missed a 34-yarder earlier. Got that one. 8:32 left to go in the half. Titans are on the board. 3-0 Tennessee after the 25-yard field goal by Rob Baronis. Came after the Ricky Williams fumble. Back deep, David Reed. He's dangerous. But what about the new rule, the kickoff from the 35-yard line, Steve.
Yeah, that's right. All those guys have their hand on the 30. I think that's the bigger thing. It's not so much the 5 yards, they move it up, but the guys covering the kick have to be on that line. They have to be touching that line when the kicker comes by them. That means they don't get down there as fast, and the return team can retreat further without having to juggling guys. It really has messed up the timing of the coverage team.
Line drive kick, plenty of room to bring it out, and he will. Diving forward to about the 24-yard line. That's where the Ravens will take over. 1st and 10, trailing by 3.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Geico, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. E-Trade, investing unleashed. And by KFC Popcorn Chicken. Today tastes so good.
We're back, and the Titans lead in the battle for field position. The Ravens start averaging their own 20-yard line. The Titans have averaged the 44-yard line. 1st and 10, Rice with some room to the outside, and he's got a 1st down.
Wow, they really got the edge on that running play. Bryant McKinney. Watch right here as they solidify the edge and just hook the Titans right at the end of the line of scrimmage. Hakeem Ayers got pushed inside by the tight end, and the offensive line just steamrolled off the corner. That's the best run of the day for the Baltimore Ravens. It started with that guy right there.
That was good for 11 yards. Play action. Flacco in trouble, but gets rid of it. And that was all Joe Flacco. Dennis Pitta with the catch.
And it looked like Dave Ball was going to blow this play up right at the beginning. Ray Rice can't get a big piece of it. Gets enough of him that Flacco can run around him to get rid of the football. And you see there, Pitta just pivots to the outside. That play, you're right, that play was all Joe Flacco, just buying a little time. Ray Rice helped him a little bit, but that was a great play by a quarterback.
Good for 16 yards. They spot it at the Baltimore 46-yard line. Flacco, short drop, in the seam, Bolden. Another Baltimore 1st down. Down to the 38-yard line, and that's another 16-yard gain.
Well, Cam Cameron is doing something a little different now that the game is underway. You see there, the short routes in the seam, run up between the defenders and just throw the ball right at him. Get the ball out of Flacco's hands a little quicker, and then that'll open up for the run game. Cam Cameron, the offensive coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens, big believer in Joe Flacco. He's said it a number of times, and I can see why.
3 consecutive 1st downs. 11-yard rush, 2 16-yard pass plays. Left side. That's Rice. Dives forward inside the 35-yard line. Busy week 2, and coming up on the Sprint halftime report, join JB, Dan, Boomer, Coach Cowher, and Chris Jenkins for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Sprint halftime report. Shannon is in Denver, getting his Hall of Fame ring, and we want to pass along our congratulations to our teammate, Shannon Sharp.
Absolutely.
2nd down after the pickup of 3. Flacco stands in, flush from the pocket, still on his feet, and throws it away. And again, you don't think of Joe Flacco as being that nimble.
Well, he's
made a couple of plays with his feet.
He's not that nimble, but on that play, he's big. He's 6'6", put on 15 pounds of muscle this year, and he needed every bit of it to pull out of this tackle right there. That's Derek Morgan, who had him around the ankle. He pulled his leg out, went out to the outside, and there was no, it would have been a big play, but all the receivers were to his left, and it just ended up he was going to the right, nobody over there. But it's not a penalty when he throws it down the field, out of the pocket.
They're on their feet here in Tennessee. 3rd and 7. Flacco out to Dixon, the tight end. And Dixon falls forward. He's got a 1st down. That was good for 9 yards. Gerald McGrath The outside linebacker who plays in the nickel made the stop.
Yeah, you'll see this, and the first guy there is Werner, who's going to try and take him on. He wants no part of it. He goes down low and gets him off his feet. But that's one thing. You get a big tight end like Dixon out there on the corner, and that corner's going to tackle him as low as he possibly can, because if he doesn't, he'll be like a bug on a windshield.
An early movement. False start, Michael Orr.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Getting back to Dixon in his second year out of Oregon. He led the Ravens with 5 catches against Pittsburgh. They really like these young tight ends, Dixon and Pitta.
Now Dixon, John Harbaugh told us he can go deep. And they're not great blockers in the run game, although we saw him make a nice block earlier in this drive. But both of them are good enough. But they're real good in the passing game.
Dixon, the motion man. Flacco, they're going to set up the screen to Rice. They love this play. And why not Ray Rice? Touchdown! What a play! 31 yards, and they couldn't bring him down.
Well, we said in the open that if the Baltimore Ravens just play their game, they're good enough to beat most teams. And you see this drive, finally they started getting some things going in the passing game, and that opened it up for Ray Rice a little bit in the running game. And as Tennessee wanted desperately to get to Joe Flacco after just missing him early, they throw the screenplay at him and get behind the defense.
And of course, as part of the NFL rule changes this season, an automatic booth review after every scoring play. The extra point by Cundiff is good. 4:38 left to go in the half. The Ravens are on the board and they lead 7-3. An impressive drive for the Baltimore Ravens. 7 plays, 81 yards. They did it in chunks, ending with the 31-yard reception for a touchdown by Ray Rice. Mariani back deep for Tennessee, 4 yards deep in the end zone. And this will be booted out of the end zone. Hits the back wall. Tennessee will take over 1st and 10 from their own 20. 7-3 Ravens.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by FedEx. FedEx does more than shipping. FedEx, solutions that matter. And by Viagra.
We're back at LP Field. Ravens answer the Romperonis field goal with a touchdown on the screen to Ray Rice. Incomplete. Hasselbeck trying to go to the sideline, and tomorrow, Dave's all new with CSI's Ted Danson. Then later this week, Taylor Lautner and Medal of Honor recipient Sergeant Dakota Meyer, followed by Craig Ferguson, only CBS. Flag down on the previous play.
Illegal hands to the face. Defense, number 29. It's a 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
And that was a second ball in the last 2 possessions that Hasselbeck has had batted down. The other one ended up in an interception, but Hasselbeck trying to find a gap in his offensive line to get the ball out of the pocket, having trouble doing it.
First down. Hasselbeck up top. Oh, what a catch by Jared Cook. The talented tight end in his 3rd year out of South Carolina.
You said it. Here's a guy 6'5", 248 pounds, turning over on his back, catching the ball and pulling it in.
That is some athletic move from a big man.
Oh, that's amazing. Good throw by Hasselbeck. I like the call going down deep. The last guy you think you're going to throw it to when you send everybody deep is the big guy. And he pulled that in as a fantastic catch.
You see a lot of 9 routes from a guy that size. That was good for 33 yards. Johnson trying to get it going. Prior to this series, he had 9 carries for 18 yards after 9 carries for 24 all last week against Jacksonville.
You see Cook there, how big he is. He towers over Mike Munchak, who was an offensive lineman himself in the NFL. And by the way, Cook, he's allergic to grass. Can you imagine? He's allergic to grass. He plays football for a living. He's rolling around in, and they play in a natural surface here.
2nd and 6. Oh, nice catch, Washington. And that's good for another first down. The Titans are on the move.
Titans doing a couple of things. One thing they're doing is the double move where they come out, stomp like that, and then go deep, and then they're coming out and stomping and turning around and catching the football. So they're using both types of routes, really almost exclusively. The receivers are coming out, hooking up and catching the short pass. Then they're coming out, faking that hook route and going deep, and they've had success with both.
Titans trying to answer the Ravens touchdown. Number 27, 1st and 10. Johnson fights to get back to the line of scrimmage, picks up maybe 1. Haloti Ngata, who's had a quiet game so far, made the stop.
And that was a great play by Ngata, coming in off the block and then grabbing Johnson by the feet and pulling him down. Hasselbeck smartly getting up to the line, wants to get this play out before the 2-minute warning. Maybe he didn't.
Yeah, trying to draw them offsides prior to the 2-minute warning. The Ravens weren't biting. 7-3. Matt Hasselbeck over 30,000 yards for his career with that pass to Nate Washington. 3 Pro Bowl appearances. And he's in the perfect situation here in Tennessee. Slings it out to Kenny Britt, looking for some running room. Reverses his field and a first down.
That's why we talked about Kenny Britt in the open right there. It looked like a little nondescript little whip screen out to the outside. Britt's going to go to the sideline and then put the brakes on and turn right back in toward all the Baltimore defenders who are coming like a stampede right at him. It takes a lot of courage to turn back inside with the football if you're a wide receiver, because you know the violence is on its way.
Inside a minute and a half remaining in the first half. Britt again reverses his field once again, and it pays off with a few extra yards. He's down to the 12.
He's strong on the football. And they're moving the chains again. I'll tell you, if I'm Matt Hasselbeck, I do have a favorite receiver, and it's Kenny Britt. What a great play.
Inside a minute now. Pump fake. Incomplete.
Yeah, it was a double move try. They're talking about it.
Kerry Williams was ready.
Yeah, you saw it. Matt Hasselbeck, not only did Britt stomp his feet and turn around, Hasselbeck gave an enormous pump fake as well. And to his credit, Kerry Williams wanted no part of it. Great play by Williams.
Kerry Williams was originally drafted by Tennessee in the 7th round back in 2008. Ended up on this Ravens squad. 49 seconds left in the half. Hasselbeck rolling right, slings it. Washington out of bounds. Inside the 5, down to the 4.
Well, the Titans doing a better job at being more disciplined. They had a little formation issue. They got that straightened out before the snap, and then Hasselbeck comes out on a little waggle to get a little extra room and get the defense, like we said, moving side to side down in a shallow field towards the goal line, and they find the opening. But they're doing a much better job in this possession down in the red zone. They've had to settle for 2 field goal attempts, and they've only converted 1 of them. And now they're with finally a good chance to score a touchdown.
They can still get a first down. This play was good for 8 yards to the end zone. Touchdown. Kenny Britt. this guy is something.
Well, they had one-on-one coverage with Kenny Britt and Dominique Foxworth. He comes up and Hasselbeck throws it before Britt even turns around. Britt just turns around and keeps Foxworth on his backside right here. Great throw, great catch. Tough to defend one-on-one. If the ball's on time, you're cooked. Foxworth had no shot at that one. That was just too well executed by a receiver and quarterback.
Third touchdown reception of the season for Kenny Britt. Barones on to try the extra point. Right down the middle. So the Titans answer. Back up by 3. Kenny Britt, what a weapon. 10-7 Titans. Nine plays, 80 yards. Kenny Britt missed almost all of the preseason with a hamstring injury. He really had only about a week and a half to work with Matt Hasselbeck before the season started. He took only 10 snaps in the preseason, but Kenny told us that they talk after every play, and they have developed a quick relationship.
Yeah, and they're feeling good about their offense today. 3 catches on that last drive, and also the touchdown at the end.
6 catches on the day for 80 yards and a touchdown. Reed is the deep man. 6 yards deep in the end zone. He brings it out. Has some room. Avoids Barones, still on his feet. And finally out of bounds. A terrific return by David Reed. And finally, Lavelle Hawkins pushed him out of bounds.
Well, they were in trouble right when he caught this. It's going to come right through this area right here. You see 2 Titans avoid blocks the opposite direction. They leave Rob Barones by himself in the middle of an open field, and that's just no contest.
A 77-yard return. Tremendous balance by Reed. And the Ravens go right back to work. 29 seconds left in the half. Flacco. Ball's loose. Flacco gets it back. And a flag.
Yeah, Derek Morgan came in and jumped late on Flacco. Wasn't much of a hit, but it was late.
And if that's the case, this would be a bad penalty.
Well, it's going to give the Ravens automatic chance for a field goal at the end of the half, whether they get closer or not.
Explaining it to Mike Munchak.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 90. Late hit. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Derek Morgan.
And it's a great play right there, as you see, by Klug.
He stripped it away again.
And he's down, and then, yeah, the late hit is coming in right at the end. Yeah, he kind of got airborne and dove on him. And, you know, the league wants those plays called, and they want to clean it up, particularly for quarterbacks. I know that sounds a little bit discriminatory, but it's really true. And it was probably, I think it was the right call.
So they spotted at the 19-yard line, 22 seconds left in the half. And the Ravens want a timeout. Anquan Bolden pointing at the play clock.
Well, there are 20 seconds left on the play clock, so I don't know what he was calling a timeout for.
Well, coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Boomer, and Coach Cower, and Chris Jenkins for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report.
And Anquan Bolden went over to John Harbaugh and tried to explain why he took the timeout, and John Harbaugh didn't agree. timeouts are so valuable. And usually, and there's some franchises, only the head coach can call a timeout. Now, it's not obviously not that way in Baltimore, as Anquan Boldin turned around and called that timeout, but I don't know that I would have called that if I was a head coach. I know that.
Ravens have 2 timeouts remaining. So first down from the 19 of the Tennessee Titans. Flacco checks it down to Rice. Brought down almost immediately. Dave Ball made the stop in his 7th year out of UCLA. Still hearing it from the crowd. Ravens with their first red zone possession today after that long return by Reed. 2nd and 10. Inside of 15 seconds remaining. Flacco sacked. Dave Ball. He was a full-time starter a year ago with 7 quarterback sacks before he went on IR.
Yeah, and the Baltimore Ravens, that forced the Ravens to take their last timeout with 2 seconds left on the half, and they'll attempt the field goal. What a sensational sack right on time by Dave Ball. Flacco, once again, as we saw early in this game, had no place to throw the football. He stepped up in the pocket, took his full drop, and he just had no options in the back end of the Tennessee defense. And if you're going to stand in the pocket and you got nowhere to throw it, it's only a matter of time before you're going to go down.
So Billy Cundiff comes out. Look at Sam Cook.
This ended up going to be a 41-yard field goal attempt after the long kick return that set up the whole deal.
41-yard try. And the last play of the opening half. Trying to tie it up at 10. And good. So after a scoreless first quarter, all 20 points scored here in the second quarter. As we've reached halftime, we'll be back with the Sprint Halftime Report after this message and a word from your local station. We're back in Nashville, tied at 10. Bill McAtee and Steve Tasker, and pretty good first half, and both teams had their moments.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think if you look at it, both teams, it was give and take. 2 turnovers for Baltimore, 1 turnover by the Titans. The running games have been bottled up a little bit, but towards the end of the second quarter, middle of the second quarter, when we saw all the points scored, the team started to find themselves offensively and started to make some hay, and I think it's going to be a really competitive second half, but it's going to come down to perhaps which team turns the ball over again.
All right, let's take a look at the numbers from the first 2 quarters, and the stats are one-sided toward Tennessee.
That's right. You look at both teams rushed for a combined 46 yards. I think that's because both teams have stellar running backs. Both teams prepared to defend that running game, and I think it's going to come down to the quarterbacks and what they can do here in the second half.
Let's take a look at the mobile recap presented by Verizon. Big play from the Ravens. Ray Rice on the screen from Joe Flacco. 31 yards for the touchdown. Titans deferred to the second half, so they'll have the football to start the third. Cundiff ready to kick it off.
It'll be interesting to see what adjustments the coaching staff for each club made. They know what they did well, and they know now, coming into the second half, what the other team thought about them coming in. They know where their strengths and weaknesses lie. We'll see how they adjust.
Out of the end zone. So they'll bring it out to the 20.
There's a flag.
Way down on the other side of the field at about the 42-yard line.
Might have been because of the misalignment or somebody being a little too far past the 35-yard line when the ball was kicked. Titans will get an extra 5 yards if that's the case.
offside. Kicking team number 87. Tennessee elects their option to add the penalty onto the end of the run. First down, Tennessee.
He called that on Chris Wilson. Back up tight end. So the field position will improve 5 yards for the Titans.
Titans had really good field position throughout the first half as the Baltimore Ravens were pinned back in their end quite a bit, plus turned the football over.
Good half from Matt Hasselbeck, 16 to 21 for 189 yards. He'll throw to start the second half. Johnson took his eye off the ball, incomplete.
And first halves like that, I think, are pretty good for quarterbacks, but I think throwing the football 21 times looks a little bit out of kilter for me. I mean, that equates to 42 times over the course of a ball game. Some of that was because Chris Johnson couldn't get going in the run game. I think some of it was the fact that they had the ball for over 16 minutes in that first half, had a lot of time of possession as well. So I don't think it's that far out of line as the numbers would indicate.
Kenny Britt, 6 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown in the first half. They'll throw again on second down. Johnson in space. This is what they wanted to try to do. Pickup of 3 on the play. Ladarius Webb made the stop.
Kind of tightened down on the field. Might be, yeah, it looks like Leroy Harris, left guard. He's going to try and stay in the game.
His 5th year out of North Carolina State. Now the training staff comes out.
We've already sent in, as you see there, Fernando Velasco coming in for him. So and the rule is, once these guys in the golf shirts come out, you have to come off the field. You're not going to be able to stay on the field.
Javon Ringer checks in as well. He's back after missing the opener with a back injury. Chris Johnson heads to the sidelines.
Brings up a 3rd and about 8 as Harris makes his way off.
Under his own power. When play resumes, it'll be 3rd and 7. 20th meeting between these two teams. They've played each other tough over the years, including the postseason. Baltimore came in with a slight 10-9 edge. The last time they met was in the 2008 playoffs. The Ravens eliminated Tennessee 13-10 after the Titans finished the regular season with the NFL's best record at 13-3. They go from the shotgun on 3rd down. 3rd and 7. Hasselbeck up top. Washington. A perfect throw.
You hear so much about Ed Reed and the Baltimore defense. He's got almost a clairvoyant ability. This is him right here. He sees something and he's going to go up to make a play, and watch what Hasselbeck does. Ed Reed thinks it's going to be a crossing route. He jumps Kenny Britt, you see at the top, and it was an inverted coverage where Ed Reed would take Kenny Britt and switch it up and then would leave it to the cornerback on the backside.
42 yards, and now Ringer with some running room and another Tennessee first down inside the 20.
Now that defense I just pointed to with Ed Reed, I think that was a called defense. He was supposed to do that, and the Tennessee Titans strike back with Javon Ringer. Great run, as good a run as Tennessee has had all day. And that's one of the things you can do at halftime. Your running game gets a little better when you understand the stunts and the defensive fronts that you're seeing.
12 more yards on that play. Ringer, the right side, picks up 1.
Big Terrence Cody making the stop on Ringer there.
Cody came in this year lighter and fitter, going from about 400 pounds to 335. He says it's made a major difference. He's got better endurance. He feels quicker, but he can still clog the middle at 335.
Yeah,
he may be 335 in every direction.
I don't know where to begin with that.
5'8". Hasselbeck, sidearm throw down to the 17-yard line. That's Craig Stevens, who's Typically in as a blocking tight end in his 4th year out of Cal, 3rd-round pick in 08.
And that was a pretty good play by Hasselbeck. Not a real big play, but it does keep him in the game, gets him down, gets a couple of positive yards and a completion, and it just gives the defense one more thing. They've got to still make the tackle. Now, he could have thrown that away, but when you complete it, it still forces the defense to finish the play, and they did there pretty well, but not after a couple of yards gained.
So 3rd and 8. Hasselbeck steps up, gets rid of it. Washington brought down hard inside the 10 to the 9-yard line.
That was Bernard Pollard, I believe. No, that was Ladarius Webb. And both those players were a little bit slow to get up.
Well, they still haven't gotten up.
There he is.
Washington is up, but Webb is still down.
I always told my family when I played that don't worry about me when I stay down on the field unless I don't move. You see there, he got caught underneath. And the reason I say that is because Webb is moving around like he's hurt. You see there, he's kind of did the splits. You learn in the league when you're playing with your friends and your family, you don't worry about him unless they know. If he's moving and it looks like he's really in pain, he's thrashing around, you don't worry so much about him as you do when they don't move, because you've seen both of them. And Webb going to get up. That's a good sign.
Help to his feet.
And you see these guys play, Bill, and you almost forget how dangerous this game is and how physical it is, particularly with the new rules and emphasis on player safety. It's still a very physical game.
The crowd on their feet, 4th and 1 for the Titans.
And the crowd's cheering loudly. Hasselbeck says, be quiet until we pick up the 4th and 1.
Play clock running. Power I formation. Ringer is the deep back. Pitch it to him, has some running room, turns the corner, touchdown! Javon Ringer.
I watched them run that play on Friday, but they ran it with Chris Johnson, and I think in this situation, it's almost more effective to run it with Javon Ringer because you don't expect him to run a play with a guy with Chris Johnson's speed. You think that's exactly the kind of play you run. I don't think they expected a play like that with Ringer. And look at the great block by Stevens. You said it. They said he was a great blocking tight end, and there he showed it. No holding as a great block.
10-yard touchdown. Baronis extra point is good. 11-10 left to go in the 3rd. Titans take the lead, 17-10. Opening possession of the 2nd half, and the Titans march it right down the field. 8 plays, 75 yards. It ends with Javon Ringer taking it in from 10 yards out.
Nice job by offensive coordinator Chris Palmer and quarterback Matt Hasselbeck to engineer that drive, get some great plays from Javon Ringer. And of course, the receiving core as well.
Titans have scored on their last 3 possessions now. 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Baronis kicks it off. Out of the end zone once again. 17-10 Tennessee. But here come the Ravens. We're back, and a big difference in the numbers from a week ago for this Ravens offense. Tennessee has done a nice job keeping them in check. The Ravens will try to answer now after the quick touchdown in the 2nd half by Tennessee. Flacco steps up, checks it down to Rice. Can't quite get out to the outside, but that's going to be good for a 1st down to the 31-yard line.
Go back and take a look at that touchdown by Tennessee. Watch the Baltimore defense. Everybody is going to take a step the wrong direction, and then they're going to be caught because of the speed of Javon Ringer. And then you get the great blocks right there by the tight end, Stevens and Mariani on the outside. That's a tough block to maintain for so long out in space. Great job out wide by the Titans.
1st and 10. Right side, Rice to the 35-yard line, a pickup of 4.
You think about coming out after halftime it's always a different game. You see the Tennessee Titans come out, start from their 25-yard line, go bing, bang, boom, all the way down the field. Now, it's been a long time since the Baltimore offense has been on the field. They had a break. They went in, got a little something to drink. Now they're out. Now it's like a new day, and it's like you got to get warmed up. And now you're behind by a touchdown rather than tied up. And it's, you really got it. It really takes a lot of concentration to jump back into the game.
And a whistle before the snap.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
All that on the right tackle, Michael Orr. Well, Entertainment Weekly, People Magazine, and USA Today all picked Two Broke Girls as one of TV's best news shows, premiering tomorrow after 2.5 Men. Only CBS. Looking forward to the new season here on CBS. 2nd and 11 after the penalty. 17-10 Tennessee. Flacco, incomplete. Dixon, the intended receiver.
Yeah, and then Ravens, after a nice first play to Ray Rice, look a little bit flat coming out after a halftime. And we discussed it at great length. And the leading players like Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Joe Flacco had a discussion on the practice field about what they were going to do in order not to be hung over from the great week they had last week. They didn't want last week's huge victory to count as a loss this week. But right now, you'd almost have to say it has affected their ability to concentrate and play hard today.
The momentum certainly with the Titans. Flacco under pressure. Throws it toward the sideline, throws it away. And the Titans are fired up.
Well, the story of the day has been Joe Flacco looking for anybody to throw the football to on a straight drop back. He hasn't been able to find anybody, and now on this play, he's running for his life. I mean, he's looking like Fran Tarkington back there. I just dated myself. But I mean, he had nobody to throw the football to, and that's been the story today for the Ravens. Flacco's had some time and had some ability to look down the field, but nobody to find to throw it to.
Cook's punt. Mariani takes it on a bounce, couldn't tell if it hit anyone, and there's a marker on the play. Preliminary signal holding.
Yeah, after the ball bounced, Mariani, I think he did the right thing, tried to pick it up. If you let the ball bounce as a punt returner, you're going to lose an average of 16 yards a punt, which is a 1st down and a half, obviously. They did it. I know that because we did a study on it, but years ago. But if you got to catch the football, that was a great kick there by Cook.
A 50-yard punt.
And it was right on the sidelines and stayed in bounds. It was a great kick. Couldn't have been better. And it forced Mariani to make that play. But he did the right thing by picking it up on the bounce and saving the yardage.
During the return, holding the return team. The 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. 1st down, Tennessee.
So that's going to push him back. 8:54 left to go in the 3rd. Chris Johnson still on the Tennessee sideline. Javon Ringer is in as they start 1st and 10 from their own 10-yard line. Hasselbeck on 1st down, rolling to Ringer. This is a nice game. A nifty bit of running after the catch. To the 28-yard line. Finally, the strong safety, Zibikowski, brought him down. That was good for 18 yards.
Yeah, Javon Ringer in the game because I don't think Chris Johnson is completely 100% healthy. Just a little check down. This isn't a design pass to Ringer, but he makes himself available after the play breaks down, and Hasselbeck finds him.
1st and 10. Ringer. Stacked up. short of the 30-yard line. Pelotinata led the charge.
You think about Chris Johnson, the fact that he's not on the field. There is you come back to training camp after a long holdout. You can't, even players that are in training camp will tell you it takes them a while to get used to getting in pads. There's no question, I think, that he was rusty a week ago. No matter what he told us or how he feels, there's just no way you can come back and be 100% after being laid off for so long.
Rager stays in the game. Play action. Hasselbeck over the middle. That's caught by Britt. First down, Tennessee.
I think that was a better catch than Kenny Britt's going to get credit for. Ed Reed hit him a hair early and was coming right over the top. Right here's Ed Reed. Watch as he gets there and hits him a little early. That's a tough catch to make as a wide receiver. The ball's right on the money from Hasselbeck. And there's just no way, unless Ed Reed's standing in front of Kenny Britt, he's not going to knock that ball away.
And Chris Johnson is back in the game. They give it to Johnson. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Ray Lewis once again on the tackle. Came down low.
And Chris is friends with Ray Lewis. He told us they call and text each other all the time. They hang out when they're at the Pro Bowl.
He also said Ray probably was going to call him during the week. And we asked him, is he going to call? He said, yeah, he'll call me, but I'm not going to pick it up.
Said Ray's the kind of guy who will pound you on a play and then help you up and tell you how much he loves you.
Yeah.
Second and 10. That's alone in the backfield. Good strike out to Britt. Kenny Britt. Out of bounds, and another Titan first down.
They had a huge key on that one. It's a great play call because they've got the outside linebacker, Jarrett Johnson, who's got to chase him out there, and there's no way he can get out there in time on a quick pass like that. On that defense, they expected the receiver to go down the field, which would give Jarrett Johnson a chance to fall into coverage, but he can't get to the sidelines that quick. Great play call against the perfect defense to call it against.
Britt over 100 yards, 8 catches, 107. The last one was good for 13. From the 44-yard line, the Ravens almost intercepted. Suggs had a chance for a second interception.
That's one problem. If you're going to get the ball out of your hands that quick, make sure nobody does something you don't expect, like Suggs dropping into coverage. Terrell Suggs, one of the great pass rushers in the NFL, bar none. And you don't expect him not to rush the passer. In that case, he did. Dropped right back underneath the slant route and almost picked it off and went the other way. That was a gotcha defense by Baltimore.
Second down. Mariani. Dropped immediately, just short of the 40-yard line.
One of the things that's different this week other than last week was Matt Hasselbeck. You got to remember, just one training camp, just an abbreviated free agency period, no off-season work. It takes a long time for a quarterback, particularly a quarterback in a brand new offense with a brand new team and a brand new head coach to get acclimated. But no question, this past week, Matt Hasselbeck has gotten much, much more comfortable in this offense.
And he's getting to know the team because that's the 8th different receiver to catch a pass. 3rd and 6 for the Titans. Plenty of time. Caught. That'll move the chains. Washington with the reception to the 32-yard line. Good for 8 yards.
Well, I'll tell you, word's going to get out about this Tennessee offense. If you're going to defend it, you're going to have to do it by putting Matt Hasselbeck on his back. Because if he can stand there and throw it, these receivers are good enough, their tight ends are good enough, and certainly their running backs are good enough to be open and be dangerous. You got to defend this offense by defending Matt Hasselbeck.
Hasselbeck going deep. Britt. Well covered by Kerry Williams.
There was great coverage, but Hasselbeck had to throw this football and then duck for his life. Kenny Britt, little stomp move. We saw the double move all day. Well defended here by Williams, and Williams just kind of eases him out of bounds. That ball was in the air very early, a little bit overthrown, but look at it. If he was there, that ball was in bounds, ready to be caught. Hasselbeck took a great hit from Ray Lewis just before he launched that ball high in the air, and it was a good thing he got rid of it.
10th play of the drive upcoming. 17-10. Titans. Chris Johnson on the delay down close to the 25-yard line. Pickup of 7 on the play.
Nice effective run by Chris Johnson. And one of the great things, and that's the thing about Chris Johnson, any way you get him the football, because of his great speed, it's a roll of the dice that you're not going to make a touchdown off of it. If one guy misses a tackle or takes a bad angle, he can go the distance, and that's why this defense of Baltimore focuses on him almost solely when he's in the game.
3rd and 4. Spread him out, empty backfield. Hasselbeck, Suggs after him. And a very nice play on the ball. The pass intended for Nate Washington. And Ladarius Webb got a good break on it. Hasselbeck a little slow getting up.
And Hasselbeck's been one of those guys that has played through some really tough injuries. He hasn't missed that many games, but injuries have been a part of his career when he was in Seattle. And watch, look here, he'll look back over his right shoulder. He knew the pressure was coming, didn't know how much time he was going to have.
So a 43-yard field goal try upcoming on 4th and 4 for the Titans. Baronis got it. Titans add to their lead. It's a 10-point game with 3:25 left to go in the 3rd. We're back, and Matt Hasselbeck looked to be in some pain a short time ago on the Tennessee sideline, but Jake Locker never took his cap off, so we figured he'd be okay, and he told us he was excited to come here. He said all it took was one phone conversation with Mike Munchak, and he was ready to head to the airport.
Absolutely, and he said Mike Munchak had a great handle on what this team had, what they needed, and how they were going to get it, and he convinced Hasselbeck that he was a big part of what they needed, and Hasselbeck said, man, I was ready. As soon as we hung up, I wanted to come to Tennessee.
Just with the wind and out of the end zone, they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line, and that's where Joe Flacco and company will go to work when we come back to Nashville. We're back. Let's take another look at this kickoff by Rob Baronis. You think he doesn't have a strong leg?
Yeah, that's
75 yards to the uprights. 20-10, Titans. 3:25 left to go in the 3rd. Rice smothered at the line of scrimmage. Will Witherspoon, the Will linebacker, made the stop in his 10th year out of Georgia.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier in the game, Will Witherspoon his 10th year, Barrett Ruud in his 7th year. The rest of the guys are 9th and were drafted or came into the league in 09 or 010 or 011. It's a very young linebacking core, except for Barrett Ruud and Will Witherspoon, giving it leadership. But those young guys are really athletic. They like where they're sitting with their linebacking core, and Ruud gives them just the leadership they need.
2nd and 10. Flacco goes back into the shotgun. Plenty of time. Up top, tried to hit Lee Evans. Led him by a little too much.
Yeah, Lee Evans, during the week, has been wearing a walking boot, so you know he's not 100%. But this is the reason they brought him over from Buffalo. And you see there the little hesitation. He had him. That's about as much separation as you're going to get in the NFL.
He didn't record a catch last week, but John Harbaugh said he was a big part of the Ravens' offense because the Steelers had to account for him deep, opening things up underneath. So 3rd down now for the Ravens. Flacco over the middle. Bolden with a first down. Anquan Bolden out to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, and that was a nice throw by Flacco as well, right through the heart of the defense. Bull's going to take the inside release and just kind of turn up on a shallow kind of a post where he doesn't really, he kind of stops running and kind of hangs out in the middle of the zone. The Titans, all the Titan defenders are guarding kind of an area in the field in zone coverage, and Bolden, once he finds where they're not guarding, he kind of stops running, and that's exactly what he's supposed to do.
Only the 3rd reception for a Ravens wide receiver. Flacco under pressure. Gets rid of it, incomplete. Rice was in the vicinity, but he was well covered.
Yep.
Witherspoon was out there with him.
Flacco feels the pressure really well. It's going to come from the top right up here, and Flacco's going to step up and away from it. And really, it's just a desperation throw to Ray Rice. You know, it's across his body. I mean, it's a nice try, but just as often those kind of throws kind of get picked off. If you can't get enough on them, they kind of flutter up in the air, and there's too many people around. There's a good job by Flacco, almost a completion.
So much praise for this Baltimore defense, but what about the way the Titans have played today? Rice trying to break through, and he's going to be a couple yards short of a first down. That was good for 8.
Both these clubs, I mean, last week the Baltimore Ravens really beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, and one reason was because the Steelers always had 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 11. And one of the things that we spoke to the Titans about, and they said, we've got to make sure we don't end up like that. But today, the Ravens have had trouble doing that. Here they get a 3rd and 2, which is something that they kind of feel good about, but it hasn't always been the case today.
Trying to throw it back. Dixon incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th and 2.
We'll see once again. Flacco's going to come back, and you know, they tried the little pitch play action, but Tennessee has really done a good job of getting all over Joe Flacco. He's never, when he has felt like he could just stand there and make the throw he's supposed to make, he's been pretty effective, but it's been rare that he hasn't had somebody chasing him. Just 3 of 9 on 3rd downs, the Baltimore Ravens this afternoon.
Another outstanding stand by the Tennessee defense. Off the side of his foot and out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Well, when it comes to solving mysteries, she can do anything but forget. Bobby Montgomery and Dylan Wall star in Unforgettable, premiering Tuesday, only CBS. That was just a 27-yard punt. They spotted at the 25-yard line of the Tennessee Titans. Titans lead by 10. 57 seconds left to go in the 3rd. Chris Johnson back in the ball game. Hasselbeck. Kenny slipped and making his cut. Incomplete.
Yeah, and there you see it again. It's been a theme for Tennessee's passing game. They come out and they run this, just stop, turn around and catch it. You see the slip and the incompletion, but that's their pass route. And then, of course, we've seen Kenny Britt will come out, act like he's going to do that and try and get deep. The double move routes have been a big part of it, but they've set them up with those quick hitches. And when they've caught those hitches, the receivers have done a great job after the catch. So Baltimore's really had their hands full.
Hasselbeck 2 yards short of 300 on the deck. 2nd and 10. Right side, Johnson.
Ray Lewis and Cam get up. You know, you talk about so many things about this Raven defense. It all starts with that guy. He has been so good for so long. 16 years. And we were talking about this on the way over here today. I think he's the greatest middle linebacker who has ever put on a helmet, bar none. You can name anybody, even Mike Singletary, Dick Butkus. You go down through the annals of history. I think nobody has meant as much to their team as he has to this team.
Named was 12th Pro Bowl last season. Mariani trying to get him in space. And he's going to be stopped short of a first down by number 52, Ray Lewis. So that will be the end of the 3rd quarter with our score Tennessee 20, Baltimore 10. We'll return to Nashville after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. We're back, a quarter to go. Titans lead it 20-10. Fourth down. Turn on the punt. Standing back at his own 18-yard line. Ravens tried to block it. Good high punt. Fair catch called for and made by Ladarius Webb. Well, these teams have played each other tight. Back in 2006, Trevor Bryce blocked a Rob Baronis game-winning field goal attempt. Baltimore held on to win by 1. Algie Crumpler scored a game-winning touchdown for Tennessee with under 2 minutes left in 08. And in the divisional playoff game, the 08 season, Matt Stover with a game-winning field goal with 53 seconds left.
This goes way back to when Eddie George and Steve McNair for the Titans, as well as Ray Lewis and their gang here and there for Baltimore. This has always been a rivalry, not so much since they've changed divisions.
Ricky Williams is in the game, gets it. Pickup of 2. That'll bring up 2nd and 8.
And now I think, no question that Baltimore, their main rival now, has become the Pittsburgh Steelers, who they thumped last week. Because of the realignment, now they're in that division, and you see there, Anquan Bowl only 2 receptions, Kenny Britt with 8 on the day.
Ricky Williams, another smart addition to the Ravens. He had 63 yards on 12 carries in the opener. 2nd and 8. Flacco trying to bring him back. Play action. Intercepted! Jason McCourty.
It all happened because Cortland Finnegan picked up the receiver coming across. The tight end comes across. Finnegan spins around and picks him up as he comes over, tips the ball into the air to McCourty, and then it's a convoy down the sideline. It's all Baltimore can do to get him on the ground. Great job there by the tight end, Dennis Pitta, to save the touchdown. That's all you really want from it after that happens. Look at all the Titans. What a great turn of events. Look for the Titans here to go deep.
1st and 10, 26-yard line, left side. Chris Johnson still feeding him the football. Let's take another look at the interception.
Well, here comes the receiver across, and Finnegan is going to peel off and pick him up. And that's why Flacco doesn't really see it happen. You see there as Finnegan falls off, he comes out of the traffic to get in underneath the throw. By that time, the throw's already in the air. Flacco has no shot. And once it gets tipped up, as Matt Hasselbeck found out in the first half, it's up for grabs, and there's always more defenders around than there are offensive players.
And McCourty returned that 30 yards. Johnson trying to get to the edge, cannot turn the corner.
And it seems to me, and when you get turnovers, we've had 4 of them in this game. 3 by Baltimore, 1 by Tennessee. It always happens that the other offense comes out and really tries to go deep. Now, neither team has done that so far. And I think one reason the Tennessee doesn't do is because they feel like they've got a home run, go for the home run every time they hand it to 28. Chris Johnson, that's like trying to go deep. On the other hand, you're down deep in their end, you're already in field goal range. I think it's time to try and hit him in the mouth and go up big.
3rd and 6, and Hasselbeck doesn't like what he sees, takes a timeout. 12:46 left to play. 20-10, Titans. Been a tough day for Joe Flacco. 24, 127, couple of picks. Titans threatening again. The 3rd drive to start in Baltimore territory. 3rd down upcoming here. The defense has to stiffen. 3rd and 6. The delay to Johnson. And he's bottled up immediately after a pickup of 1.
And now the Baltimore Ravens bringing pressure off the receivers from the secondary. And the Titans just ran right into it.
Ladarius Webb made the stop, so again, we're going to see Rob Baronis. This will be from 39 yards out.
And this is a big kick for the Titans.
13-point lead for the Tennessee Titans. (23-10), 12 minutes left to play. Coronas with a 39-yard field goal. Set up by the Jason McCourty interception and 30-yard return. So it's a 2-touchdown game for the Baltimore Ravens. Corona set to kick it off. David Reed is back deep. Home opener for the Tennessee Titans, and they've played well. Into the wind, it hangs up. Reed will have a chance to return this one. Right across the 15 to the 17-yard line.
And as we see Joe Flacco come out, here's been a little bit of a synopsis of his day, the pressure that's been on him. Been a lot of plays on the ground, and he's been running for his life. He's done a nice job. He's been nifty in the pocket and bought himself some time at certain points. But you see here, too many times he's just had to wait for something to happen, and his receivers have not helped him very much down the football field. And I think that's one thing that the Ravens will come away from this game knowing. They've got to do a better job when the play breaks down with their receivers getting open.
Down by 13, just under 12 minutes to work with. Rice to the 22-yard line, a pickup of 5.
Yeah, and that's Ray Rice stays on the field even in desperation times. He's that good a receiver out of the backfield, but you can bet they probably won't hand him the football on a straight running play. They may give it to him on a draw or delay, but this game has turned into a throw every down game for the Ravens at this point with 11 and a half minutes to go.
Witherspoon made the stop on the previous play. 2nd and 5. He showed blitz, but back off it. That's caught by Bolden. First down for the Ravens, out to the 32-yard line. McCourty made the stop after a pickup of 10.
You know, you see that how the Ravens are throwing it. Now they've got lots of time because you think most drives only last about 3 or 4 minutes. A 5 or 6 minute drive is a long one, but they have to take into account that the Titans are staying on the football field offensively, and their defense has to come away with a stop. They haven't been able to do that in the last few possessions.
Flacco from the shotgun. In the seam, and there's Lee Evans. And he caught it on the free safety, Michael Griffin.
To me, this is a blown coverage. Watch as he gets off the football, and you see there, McCourty looks inside, wondering what's going on. He looked inside. When you take your eyes off the quarterback as a defender, it's because you're unsure of where your help is. And he let Lee Evans go a little bit too easily off the line of scrimmage, which made Evans get into that hole too quickly for the safety to get over to help.
That was good for 32 yards, and suddenly the Ravens are on the move from the Tennessee 36-yard line. Flacco, center of the field. Dixon with the catch. Down to the 27-yard line, a pickup of 8. That was Dennis Pitta, rather, the other tight end.
And that 30-yard gain by Lee Evans kind of changes things now. They're already in scoring position down inside the 30-yard line. They're in field goal range. Not that they would settle for it right here, but that usually takes a lot of time to move the ball that much. But big plays make a big difference, and the one to Evans, I think, was really big.
Ricky Williams has checked in, and they give it to him.
And to Ricky Williams.
Close to a first down.
Yeah, they're going to spot it past the first down marker.
Pickup of 3, and it will be a fresh set of downs for the Baltimore Ravens.
And you can just tell that the Tennessee Titans, after that last field goal going up by 13 points, they kind of stood up and took a deep breath, and the Ravens came right back and hit them in the stomach. They got to buckle down again. The defense for Tennessee is kind of let up on this drive. They're not playing with the same intensity up front.
About 8.5 minutes left to play. Pump fake by Flacco. Bolden, that's batted down and almost intercepted. Griffin had a shot at it. So did McCourty.
Yeah, in fact, they defended each other. I mean, Bolden there on the inside receiver coming up inside. They kind of defended each other. And really, Griffin, I thought, should have pulled this down. He kind of bats it down like a volleyball.
Cortland Finnegan said, come on, guys.
Yeah, that was a big one. You make that play.
And that's just about it.
Start thinking about that next week.
2nd and 10. Ravens still alive. Flacco, again, lots of time. That's caught another first down.
Well, there's the
Dixon.
change. You mentioned it, Bill. He's got time. The pressure is kind of evaporated, and the Tennessee Titans up front have not brought the pressure. They're dropping guys into coverage. They're only bringing 4 guys every play, and they're not running any games up front with their defensive line either. It's 4 guys straight up the field. They're not doing anything to try and confuse the offensive line of Baltimore. It's just man on man. I think that's why Joe Flacco looks and feels a little more comfortable in the pocket.
That was good for 16 yards, so it'll be 1st and goal just inside the 10-yard line. Left side, Rice. Down to the 6, a 3-yard pickup. Derek Morgan made the tackle. Titans are happy to have him back after he missed last week with a knee injury.
Yeah, and this drive at this point has taken just over about 4 minutes with 7.5 to go. Baltimore, and they really do. This, to me, at this point of the game, turns into 4-down territory trying to get in the end zone. A field goal does you no good.
2nd and goal. Flacco will throw. Directing traffic. Bolden popped. Popped at the goal line.
Yeah, Bolden wanted a
Barrett
penalty.
Rude.
Yeah, Bolden wanted a penalty because as he reached out, you'll notice he only reached with one arm because the defender had his other arm pinned. Right there in the middle of your screen. See, Finnegan's got his arm pinned back, and he had to reach out with one arm to pull that ball in and couldn't do it. Of course, Rude didn't make it easy for him either. And he got up wanting a penalty because Finnegan had his arm pinned.
They're on their feet here in Nashville. Ravens are spread out. 3rd and goal. A whistle before the snap.
Delay a game.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
And that's a mistake by the Baltimore Ravens. And you get caught up in complaining about the no penalty on the pass completion. Everybody gets caught up looking. And that's right, it was just short of being within the time allotted. And that was a result of the incompletion and the missed call, or what they felt was a missed call by the official.
They spot it outside of the 11. 3 of 9 on 3rd down. It's 3rd and goal. Flacco buys some time. Incomplete. Bolden couldn't bring it in, and you don't often see him miss a catch like that.
I think Finnegan got a piece of that one as well. I think he just tipped it as it came through, just by the... And I don't think Bolden saw him or Flacco. Watch as Flacco puts this in here. He did. He just got in Bolden's vision, if not a piece of the football. Yeah, he did. He got a little bit of it.
Otherwise, that would have been 6.
And that wasn't Finnegan's man at all. I mean, that was... He just saw Flacco read the play and tried to make the play and did.
29-yard field goal try upcoming on 4th and goal. Cundiff drills it. It's a 10-point game. Just under 7 minutes left to play here in Tennessee. 23-13 now. Tennessee still a 2-possession game, but now it's a touchdown and a field goal for the Ravens. Ray Lewis on the sidelines. 11 plays, 72 yards, but
I think the field goal was a victory for the Titans, no question.
Titans defense stiffened at the end.
Well, and you're right. I mean, we talked about maybe that being 4-down territory, but the delay of game call, I think, took them out of that mode. They, you know, at the 11-yard line, you're not going to get it on 4th down probably. So at least it is still a 2-possession game, but at least they can tie it with a touchdown and a field goal and not lose it with a touchdown and a field goal.
Matt Hasselbeck will be looking to take some time off the clock. 6:58 left to go. Cundiff ready to kick it off. Mariani, the deep man. And they'll bring it out to the 20. That's where the Titans will take over 1st and 10. Well, Thursday on CBS, CY TV Guide calls Person of Interest a must-see mystery. Emmy winner Michael Emerson and Jim Caviezel star in Person of Interest, premiering Thursday, only CBS.
For the Titans now, with 7 minutes to go, just under 7 minutes, you run your offense the way you run your offense. You don't go into your 4-minute offense until you get to about 4 minutes down the road. They've got to make some first downs, and you're not going to do that just turning around and handing it off on dive plays.
And they're going to throw on 1st down, batted away, incomplete.
3rd time today, Hasselbeck has gotten a ball batted down at the line of scrimmage. This one actually batted up. You'll see here. Great job there by Johnson, Jarrett Johnson.
And he had a couple of words with the big country. Big offensive tackle for the Titans.
He had the hooks in him. Right tackle.
2nd and 10.
There he goes off the field.
And we have a flag down.
Titans had too many guys in the huddle.
It's a 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Lavelle Hawkins got caught in the game when he wasn't supposed to be on that personnel grouping. He had to run off the football field. And the problem is, and that's an issue, I think, for offenses. If you don't have the exact right guys in the huddle, or if you have an extra guy too many, it's a penalty if you break the huddle. And that gives you, the play clock is going. You got to get that guy off. And they broke the huddle, and Hawkins knew he wasn't supposed to be in there, ran off. It doesn't matter. Even though he didn't run a play, they had too many guys in the huddle.
They move it back to the 15. Johnson, left side. Still looking to break one. Gets back close to the original line of scrimmage, and some extracurricular activity down close to the 15-yard line.
And this is something you don't want to do if you're the Titans, because the play clock is going, and you got to get your play called, and you don't want to have to waste a timeout getting in the huddle and getting out of the huddle because you're over there pushing and shoving on the sidelines. It's something the Ravens do as well as anybody. They play so hard all the time. At this point in the game, sometimes their defense plays so close to the edge of the envelope and what's legal, they almost force the officials to get involved and make a call. You have to be ready for that if you're the Titans, because you know that the Ravens are going to be pushing the envelope as to what's legal and what is not.
They spotted at the 21-yard line, so that'll bring up 3rd and long. 3rd and 9 for the Titans. Britt pulls it in, close to midfield. Kenny Britt, another big catch. "28 yards.
Well, that's not the final nail in the coffin, but that's a big hit on the right spot. Big first down. That'll get him almost to 5 minutes left in this game. What a great throw by Hasselbeck, throwing that right in front of Ed Reed, who you know he's back there, and this is exactly the time of game when Ed Reed comes up with big plays. That's an experienced quarterback with a lot of confidence.
Britt with 135 yards. He had 136 last week. Chris Johnson, left side, moves the pile into Raven territory.
This tremendous showing by Tennessee's offense today. I don't think there's any question. You watched that game last week in week 1 and through the preseason, and you watch them today, they have taken a couple of big steps forward as an offense. Matt Hasselbeck played with a lot of confidence. They got the ball to the right guys at the right time. Kenny Britt being most of that. And then the other guys chipping in. Guys like Nate Washington, Guys like Jared Cook chipping in when they can, and the running game wasn't there all day, but it was there when they needed it.
Hasselbeck, incomplete. Crowd wanted pass interference on Ray Lewis, but they won't get it. That'll bring up third down.
Yeah, you're not going to get a pass interference usually from a defender when the receiver's not running. Right there, Chris Johnson was kind of standing still, and Ray Lewis was guarding him at this point. And you see there, he's standing still. When the receiver's standing still, it's really difficult for a referee or an official to make an interference call when you don't affect where the guy's moving to or spinning him or something. I think that's a good no call.
They've already converted a 3rd and 9, now facing 3rd and 6. Another first down. Forward progress will get it to the 40. Lavelle Hawkins. That'll move the chains.
Just what I said a moment ago. Just need everybody to chip in, and this is a great move by the Titans. They don't call a depth on these routes. They just call it the sticks. You send all the receivers just past the first down marker and have them turn around. And an experienced quarterback like Hasselbeck just picks the best matchup pre-snap and guns it in there for the first down. Great play call.
And they run it. Chris Johnson trying to get to the edge. Doesn't. But the clock will continue to run. Ray Lewis made the stop. Chris a little slow getting up.
Yeah, and now is when the Tennessee Titans do run their 4-minute offense.
Timeout on the field. That lost 1. 23-13 Titans. Coming up, time permitting after the game, the NFL Today update presented by Verizon. Join JB, Dan, Boomer, Coach Cowher, Chris Jenkins for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up as Chris Johnson gets the carry, and the Titans are over 400 yards in offense.
Yeah, one thing I think that's telling about this game, Matt Hasselbeck, 40 pass attempts, and he has not been sacked.
3:33 left to go. We're back. Take a look at the numbers. Very impressive for the Tennessee Titans. Facing a 3rd and 8 now. Inside the 40-yard line. Here they come on the blitz. Gets rid of it. It's going to be about a yard short. Hawkins again with the catch.
It'll be interesting here to see if they go for the field goal on a 4th and very short.
They picked up 7. They needed 8.
Offense is staying on the field. And he's going to let this in, rightfully so. Well, the Ravens took a timeout, which was right on their part.
Baltimore takes their 3rd and final charge timeout. This is a
Kenny Britt, another big day.
Well, it started early. He got going to move, got great separation. This is what really started opening up for Tennessee. The quick turnarounds, the double moves, and then the touchdown catch. It got him on the board, gave him the lead for the first time in the game. Hasselbeck looking for him, and this is the one that really said, hey, Tennessee's not going away. On this drive, Kenny Britt right down the middle of the field when they needed a first down to run clock out, stay on the football field. He made that catch right down the center of the football field.
4th and 1. Hasselbeck. Caught. Quinn Johnson. We hadn't called his name all game long. But a huge play there.
And he's another offseason acquisition from Green Bay.
13 yards. He came over from the Packers, starting for Ahmad Hall, who is serving a suspension for violating the NFL's performance-enhancing substance abuse policy. He's out for 4 games, so they signed Johnson, and he comes in big. Here as the Titans try to close it out.
Very emotional response from an old offensive lineman.
Johnson cuts it back. Ravens trying to strip it out. Chris Johnson hangs on. So this will take us down to the 2-minute warning.
Tennessee doing an outstanding job, staying in bounds, doing everything right. 2 hands on the football.
23-13, Tennessee. And coming up next, the Rivers and the Chargers face Tom Brady and the Patriots, while the Texans tangle with the Dolphins or the Bengals battle the Broncos. Check your local listings for the game in your area. The NFL on CBS. 2nd and 8. Ravens can't stop the clock. Johnson. Inside the 15, a pickup of 2. Mike Munchak, such a great career as a player. He's in the NFL Hall of Fame, the Ring of Honor here. His jersey retired. First stint as a head coach after 17 years as an assistant.
And it looks as though he's going to get his first win today in the home opener as a head coach.
And after the slow start against Jacksonville, he told everybody, don't panic. Just week 1. It's a long season. Very understated guy, as you might expect. 3rd down for Tennessee. Johnson cuts it back, swarmed under at the 14-yard line.
Boy, it looked as though when he made that cut, he saw something, but when he made the cut, Ray Lewis was waiting on him. Looked like he was almost trying to run into Ray Lewis. And I know that's not right. Sometimes he's been playing so long, Ray Lewis just turns up in the most unexpected place.
Nate Washington telling the crowd to get on their feet. Football is back here in Nashville. But a disappointing week 2 for the Baltimore Ravens.
And Titans will take a timeout with 1 second on the play clock, 30 seconds in game clock, and the next play is 4th down, will be the last one for them offensively. You want to talk about it, quarterbacks and how they all switch around, and are they going to fit here? Are they going to fit there? I think Matt Hasselbeck fits really well here in Tennessee, not only for this season and the near future, but also for the future. I mean, they've got Jake Locker standing back there watching a guy play, and Matt Hasselbeck is a consummate professional. He's been to the Super Bowl. He's been the face of a franchise before in the National Football League. He understands what goes on off the field, how to prepare for being on the field, and it's the perfect scenario for an organization who drafted a guy like Jake Locker.
He was the 8th pick overall, Steve, and now they've got this veteran who's cerebral, knows the game, who can play for as long as they need him, and then pass the torch to Locker.
Absolutely.
Verona's on to try a 33-yard field goal on 4th and 7. And that's good. So that extends the Tennessee lead. 26-13, 26 seconds left to play. And what could they be up to there?
They have a big orange cooler that they're going to dump over somebody. Wonder who it's going to be.
I know that you had a warm and fuzzy relationship with Mike Munchak back in your rookie season with the Oilers.
I was drafted by the Oilers. He was already a veteran of a couple of years, and it was really good because I was laughing with him because I only played for like 10 regular season games in my career with the Oilers, but Mike Munchak and I played in 7 games together as Pro Bowlers later in our career, so I almost actually played in more All-Star games with him as my teammate than I did as a teammate of his in the regular season.
But he sort of welcomed you into the NFL, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Good for him.
And they're welcoming him into the win column as a head coach in the National Football League.
One thing about him, and I've heard the players say this about him already, he's a straight shooter. You know, so many times head coaches are these executive types. Mike Munchak is a guy who will take you and tell you how it is and how it's going to be, how he wants it. And players really, really respond to that. And I think as a player, I think he appreciated it. He's making that atmosphere prevalent in the locker room today for the Titans.
Laquan Williams is the deep man. It's a short kick. They got it back to Vontae Leach. Leach brings it out across the 30-yard line. 20 seconds remaining.
Tonight, you see that nice close-cropped hair he's got there. When I was a rookie, one of the things they did...
This is not going to be pretty, is it?
No, but he was a veteran and I was not, so I had to sit in the chair while him and his cohorts shaved my head as a rookie. Wasn't one of my fondest memories of the National Football League, but still, it took forever for my hair to grow out.
Flacco sacked. And that will be it. The Titans score on 6 of their last 7 possessions. 2 touchdowns and 4 field goals. The final score, Titans 26, the Ravens 13. So for Steve Tasker, Bill McAtee saying so long from Nashville. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. Coming up, an NFL Today update presented by Verizon.